What's up? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Culture and Cigars. I'm your host, Demetrius Holland. Just want to say thank you to everybody so far for subscribing and following me on SoundCloud, Google Play, and iTunes. I thank you for your support. Today I got a special guest with me. Go and introduce yourself.
It's Jordan J. Prince Thompson from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about myself. I grew up, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Um, my mom's raised me. I come from a small family. I didn't really um, get in too much of the street life, but I always experienced it. Just growing up, it was rough and fun at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you get older, you start experiencing different things, and then you start to get an idea, so to speak, on what you want to
Uh
do. Excuse me. As I grew up, I started getting into music,
huh.
and like I would listen like various hip hop artists,
Yeah.
and then that's from that point on. I always um, had the vision of writing,
Yeah.
but I wasn't always serious with it. So when I as I grew up, once I started getting serious with it, that's how I started doing poetry.
Oh, okay.
And the music that I was listening to, it gave me it was like a backbone, and
Yeah.
so that helped me a lot.
Okay, so tell us how it is, because I'm from Tennessee. So tell us how it is in Detroit. Like, what was it like growing up?
What was it like growing up? It was, like I say, rough and fun. I mean, the rough part is, you waking up every day and you hearing somebody getting shot, somebody getting locked up, your closest people getting deep into the street life. And it's like, because I thought about this the other day. Growing up, you know, a lot of people, like, especially in this environment, get drawn in easy
Uh huh.
because it's easy to get into that. You know, for it to be like that, it was like a gift and a curse.
Uh huh.
So like the fun part about it was I got to see stuff that I wasn't supposed to do.
Hmm.
Like you know what to do, but because it's cool at that time,
Yeah.
people getting it's easy for people to get engaged like that. So
Hmm.
with me, I always tried to steer away from that type of stuff.
Yeah.
That's that.
Okay, so you first started out with music before you got into poetry. Was like you doing any songs, rap songs, or you was
I
just.
was just playing around with it, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, the this dude that I used to be cool with at the time, me and him, I think we was 14, 15,
Hmm.
and we always made like little freestyles. We would rap over the phone, and we just play around with whatever it is we hear.
Yeah.
And he more so was serious into doing music,
Hmm.
and he kind of drugged me with him, and we tried to like he'll make the songs, I try to do like the network.
Hmm.
And because I was always around him, that's I started having an interest in like trying to make a song.
Yeah.
Because like all this time I was still writing. But, it wasn't really until 2011.
Hmm.
It was another friend of mine. He was serious with it as well. And then as months passed, I started dibbling and dabbling with little songs that they would make,
Hmm.
but I wasn't always serious with the rap.
Oh, okay. So how did you get into poetry?
How I get into poetry, um, I didn't start getting serious with. Here's what, because this funny because it's transitioning to the next subject. when I was writing, like it was like I was going through like a difficult stages in life,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would just write nonstop,
Yeah.
nonstop, and it would be times I would write and not even review what I'm writing. I'm just whatever is on my mind, I just put it down,
Mm-hmm.
and that went on for a while. And when I first came here to American Baptist College,
Mm-hmm.
I was still writing because the only outlet I had for me to be out here in Nashville, Tennessee, that was the only outlet I had.
Yeah.
And somebody, can't remember who, but they looked at my work and they said, "You ain't never thought about doing poetry or something?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "No." "You should do it, man. You got a gift."
Mm-hmm.
I just started getting serious with it up until I first came out here.
Yeah.
And even then, when I first tried to get serious with it, I didn't know how to structure a poem. I didn't know like how to stick with a title. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know how to even come up with a title.
Yeah.
It was just a natural thing. You just write something, and then when you review it, there's your title.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this crazy process with me because I didn't even know I had to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said okay. So at first you said you was just writing. When you say you was just writing, you was just writing your thoughts out with no pattern. You just something happened, you'll write it down, kind of like a journal or a diary.
Yeah, more so a journal.
Okay. And so then that led someone saw your writing. You wasn't offended when they saw your writing. Uh, so then,
Nah, it depended on what they saw.
uh,
Like they didn't see nothing crazy.
uh,
They just randomly picked up the paper. They look at me, look at the paper. It's like, "Man, you ain't thought about doing poetry?"
yeah,
I said, "No,
uh,
people don't want to." I said, "These people don't want to hear me."
yeah. So what is it about writing that is therapeutic to you?
Um, I think the fact that it's a way of getting your feelings out.
Uh huh.
I think whether you listening to a song, whether you jogging, everybody got their way of trying to release some type of tension.
Yeah.
And to me, like the only way I feel like I can express myself is writing,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no other way for me to get it off my chest. I could tell somebody how I feel, but you don't want to waste your words, so just put it on paper.
Yeah.
That's how I find it to be therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So explain. You saying waste your words, like you saying some writing when you writing you can get it all out instead of talking to someone and they don't listen.
Because you got some people out here who they'll hear it,
Yeah.
but they won't listen.
Hmm.
Versus you writing it on paper, you ain't got to worry about who's listening and who's not. It's your thoughts, and then you the only person who can see it.
Hmm.
It's up to you after you write it down on the paper whether or not you want to present it to whoever you want to present it to.
Hmm. Have you ever went back over some of your writing and was like, man, what was I thinking or what was going on in my mind?
Um, a few times.
Yeah.
When I first started getting serious with poetry,
Hmm.
I remember I shared a story. It was one time. It was a poem called "When I See Pain."
Uh-huh.
That was it was I don't know, that was a deep poem.
Mm.
And I showed it to a few folks, and then the feedback I got, it was a good feedback,
Uh-huh.
but it was a twist. So I'm like, everybody just asking me, it's like, "Man, you got people out here looking at you crazy." I'm like, "What?" So, and then it's like, "Man, they thinking you on some suicidal stuff. They don't know where you coming from with this." And I said, "Oh, I feel bad. I had to slow down for a minute."
Yeah.
I was like, dang, I can't just. From that point on, it just told me like you can't just put everything out.
Hmm. But don't you think that those are the best type of poems where it seems it's your own deep personal thoughts and sometimes might be dark thoughts? Because we're not always thinking about sunshine. Sometimes we got pain in our lives, so poetry could be a way to paint that picture, and like somebody who might be having the same thoughts can somewhat find inspiration from you expressing your pain.
Yeah, but some people, it it got to be the right time.
Yeah.
Can't always like now. I try to put my material out depending on how the vibe is, how the day is,
Mm,
because you don't want to give out no depressing material and it's everybody having a good day.
yeah.
So like, yeah, it's true. You present something that people not gonna expect,
Mm,
but it's but at the same time, you got to think like some people can't handle that type of material.
mm,
Some people can't handle just because it might relate to them and they might not be ready to hear it at
yeah.
that time. So
Yeah.
I'll be wanting to put my stuff out at the right time.
Mm. Okay. So let's talk about how we kind of touched on it a bit, but you told me how you got started. Tell me like what was your process when you first started, like, cause I used to do music, so like I know like I would always come up with like a chorus,
Mm-hmm.
then I would come up with the title, then I would work on the verses. So how do you work? How do you do your poetry? Do you just freestyle it, or do you got a system?
It's a little small system. Um, it's basic. I listen to music. I throw on my earphones. Most times I go down that river,
Mm,
jam to my music.
mm,
Most times when I come up from that river, I have an idea.
yeah.
And if that don't happen, then I just keep my earphones on. I sit down. I could probably be doing my schoolwork, and I just go to the next page, just write whatever it is that catches
Mm,
me. And that's that. Excuse me. Um, and then listening to like different artists with different song concepts, and then like people like Nas,
mm,
I listen to him, and he'll spark an idea.
yeah.
So that's how I usually go about it.
Okay. So what is it about going to the river that
Excuse
inspires you or motivates you?
I think the atmosphere.
Mm,
Then you by yourself
yeah.
because you want to go and blow off some steam. You want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
So like when I go down there, it's like I be talking to God at that river. So when I throw on my music and I just start dancing to it,
Mm,
it's me sending a message to God,
mm,
letting him know how I feel.
mm. So you are a spiritual person,
Yeah.
would you say? But you wouldn't classify yourself as a Christian.
Mm-mm. Honestly, because
You.
you want to know what's funny? I
Mm,
had a conversation with somebody about this, like either the day before yesterday or yesterday, and she asked me, she said, do you consider yourself Christian?" I said, "I consider myself spiritual,"
mm,
and I believe the difference is Christian is only know that area,
mm,
Christianity.
yeah.
Spiritual person don't care what religion they hearing, as long as they get the message.
Mm,
So me, I don't have no particular category I would label myself as. I mean, I go to a Christian college. I go to a Christian church, but overall, the
mm,
big picture, I'm like, well, if my pastor is telling me this, then you got other pastors or preachers who saying the same thing. You just all about you hearing what they're saying.
Yeah. So, do you incorporate your spiritual side into your poetry?
I try.
You try.
I try. I try. It's not easy
Why it's not easy?
because you have all these thoughts in your head and you trying to puzzle how you wanna approach the title.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I say it's not easy.
Do you think it would probably be better to come up with the title after you write the poem? That way you won't uh, confine yourself to just I got to stick to this title.
Mm.
If you just start writing and let the pen flow, and then afterwards the title summarize what you just wrote.
You can do that sometimes. I think you can do that sometimes. Sometimes you know what you want to talk about,
Uh-huh.
and then you just go off natural.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good to write out what's on your mind first and then do the title.
Yeah. But then you say you do the title first?
Sometimes I do.
No.
Sometimes.
Okay, so what I read some of your poetry. I don't know if you want to talk about your motivations behind some of them. Because
Oh man.
one of them, I was like, man,
Gonna hit me with it too. Hey, the
yeah,
world, he gonna hit me with it.
I was like, you just went in, be by your side.
All of that.
Yeah, it seemed like you just, to me, when I read it, it seemed like it could have been something else, but it seemed like you had a breakup or something, and you was heartbroken over and stuff. That's what I got out of it. And it seemed like you just went in on it.
All I'm gonna say is this: it was a situation that I am not proud of being. I wasn't proud of being in. Now
Mm-hmm.
that I look back at it, and at the time, I had I had so much anger at the time
Mm-hmm.
that I felt like, well, I could say this stuff to this person,
Yeah.
but being me, I'd rather just do what I do best. I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather just put it on paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when I wrote that, I was on the road back to Detroit.
Yeah.
And I wrote it on my notepad on my phone, and I looked at it when I went to Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and I rewrote it on the paper, and I tweaked it out a little bit, put a little added on here and there. And that was it.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, I tried to rhyme a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried to rhyme.
But do you think that poems should rhyme, or you don't think so?
It can. You don't always have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen some where they haven't, but it's like the some of the most memorable ones is the ones that rhyme because you could remember those,
Hmm.
and it flows. It's like a flow.
Yeah, yeah. You don't always have to rhyme. You just got to make it make sense.
Yeah, yeah. So what was the inspiration behind Freebird Cage versus Cagebird?
Oh, man. That was my first poem.
Oh, that was.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was my very first poem. Here, this is, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I made that poem when I attended this class called Poetry and Drama.
mhm.
It was a couple years ago, and the professor asked the class to because we read this poem by Maya Angelou.
Mhm.
Uh, Why does the cage bird sing?
Yeah.
So we read that, and she wanted us to come with our concept on why the cage birds sing.
Mhm.
So this whole time it was supposed to be just a class assignment.
Mhm.
I don't know what got into me that day, but I just know that later on that night I came back from wherever I was, and and I went in my dorm, wrote out the poem within the day,
Yeah.
showed it to my advisor who does poetry, showed it to a few colleagues of mine, and that was it. And the day that class started, I looked at it myself, and because it was called, because I ain't come with the title until class time.
Yeah.
Because I already did Free Bird does this, Cage Bird does that,
Yeah.
Free Bird does this. And I was like, well, we ain't gonna call it Wild as the Cage Bird. We're gonna call it Free Bird versus the Cage Bird.
Yeah.
And after I presented it in class, I made it official. I was like, this is my first poem.
Oh, okay. So you didn't write no poems before that one?
I was in the process of trying to create one, but
Mm-hmm.
that was the one. And what inspired me about that poem was Maya Angelou.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, I read that poem. I was like, shoot, I can make my own version.
Yeah. So who are some of the poets that you like to read or hear?
um, Nas, Kendrick, this one, I think he from somewhere from Georgia. His name Big Rube.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read this book from Pot called The Roads That Grew from the Concrete.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, that helps me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I definitely listen to Pot. That's about it. J. Cole.
So most of your favorite poets is rappers.
Yeah.
So you don't. That don't make you want to be a rapper.
Yes and no.
Uh,
I don't. I'm not interested in being a rapper because due to the fact we got a bunch of nonsense that going on right now. Like
mm,
this today's time, and I'm still young. I'm 25 years old. Today's time, don't nobody really want to hear what's real.
mm,
People just listening to whatever it is on the radio. All this, it's cool to flash. It's cool to show you the money. It's cool to do all of that. I ain't knocking nobody, but what's real out here is what's real out here. This
mm,
materialistic stuff is not real out here.
mm,
So I'm gonna sit here and create something for the public when half the public don't even want to listen to it. You
yeah.
got people out here who want to hear what you got.
Mm,
But you got that other crowd that you trying to touch on don't even want to pay no attention to what you got. And they know you got some good stuff.
mm. It could be no delivery though, because if your delivery good, people will listen. You don't think so?
Yeah. Mm. Excuse me.
So,
I agree with you.
mm,
But I mean, what's real is what's real.
mm,
I mean, you got if, for example, if people listen to Young Thug,
mm.
then if they listen to that whatever it is that they talking about, you can listen to J. Cole the same way you listen to Young Thug.
Well, I actually like him, but
Yeah, he's all right. He's okay.
people, but okay, people take this the wrong way. But I say Young Thug could be the new Prince.
Really.
Look at the similarities. They both make music that's kind of weird, but it's good. Both kind of dress like women. So
J. Cole.
no, I said Prince,
Oh, Prince.
Young Thug and Prince.
Young Thug ain't wearing no high heels.
He wearing Ugg boots,
That's better than
paint his
wearing.
fingernails. He wore a dress. He called his homies Bay.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna have this.
But yeah, I like. I think like Young Thug. He has. It's like it's his. I look at like like I don't knock those that knock the everybody's against the mumble rap, but it's just their way of expressing themselves. And
How can you express yourself if you mumbling? People tell me all the time because I'm not used to yelling all the time. People
mm,
tell me all the time, speak up.
yeah,
The man, what can I say? These people, I don't see how they express themselves
hmm
and they mumbling.
yeah, some of it is a little over the top, but like, cause some people they don't like Fetty Wap,
Oh,
but I like Fetty Wap too. Like I could listen to like my how I listen to music is I don't have a certain group. Like back in the day, it was all just Boosie and Gucci Man. Now,
those your favorite artists?
yeah, it'd be Boosie, Gucci Man, and Young Jeezy.
I listen to Cheesy.
Yeah, but now it's like I listen to everybody. Like I could listen to one day I'm listening to Young Doug. Next day I'm listening to J Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Then Tory Lanez, then Drake. Then it's just all over the place. R&B, gospel. I even listen to country and rock. It's just I feel like those people that do music and poetry, any type of way someone's expressing themselves to like you said blow off steam or it is their way of their form of worship. I can get with it. So
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah. Who your favorite country music?
I wouldn't. It's this. I think it's this dude called the Buffalo or something like that. I have to look up the song, but yeah, I just listen to different stuff.
Hmm.
So you don't have no favorite poet that's not a rapper?
Mm, I don't think so.
Uh,
Uh-uh.
it's the White Buffalo.
The label. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I like Maya Angelou,
Oh well, yeah. That's no brainer. I listen to Maya.
and then
She don't count. No, I always listen to Maya.
yeah. Then who else? One Langston Hughes a poet.
Langston. Yeah.
You don't
I
like?
just I haven't read his material. I
Uh,
know I know of it. I just
yeah.
haven't gotten a chance to listen to it.
Uh, you don't want to you don't think looking at the old school black poets will motivate you and what you do, or you just want to stay in your lane?
Um, I try to stay in my lane. I mean, the the poets back in the past, I listen to them and I try to like get like little ideas.
Hmm.
Like, okay, they talking about this. Like, how can I use what they talking about? How can I say this different?
Hmm.
You know. So, but other than that, I try to be creative in my own way.
Yeah. So do you go to what's it called open mics? You do any of those?
Mm-mm,
You never thought about getting
mm-mm,
into it?
mm-mm.
So you rather just write it but not do a live performance?
I would love to do a live performance, but I'm hindering myself.
Mm,
I get stage fright. I'm gonna be honest too.
yeah.
Like being in front of a big crowd is no joke.
But it seemed like that would be your type of atmosphere though. You ever go to any?
Mm-mm.
You never?
I've performed a few times
Yeah,
here on
I seen you here at the school perform.
here on campus, but even with that, people on campus they'll try to get me to perform, but it's like pulling teeth with me.
Yeah,
I'll be like, yo, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready.
yeah. Because I always wanted to just go to one just to experience how it would be because it seemed like it would be laid back and just seeing people expressing their thoughts and the performance like so yeah I always wanted to check it out but yeah you should go ahead and try to get you go and do the spoken word one time.
Yeah, I do it one soon. Really, I do it soon. If I'm doing this podcast, that means pretty soon I'm gonna be stepping up doing the stage performance soon.
Yeah.
I just don't know when.
So do you know where they got like a spot in Nashville to do that or you don't know?
I've heard they do, but I have to find it. I heard
Oh
there's one downtown somewhere.
yeah. And what they just have an open mic night?
Mm.
Okay.
There and I heard TSU got
Yeah.
a little open mic session.
Hmm. So what kind of different genres of poetry do you only do the heavy stuff or what type of different stuff you do?
I try to touch on everything.
Hmm.
At first, it was like the deep subjects.
Hmm.
But then after like listening to different artists,
Hmm.
it kind of draws me into okay, he talking deep.
Hmm.
This one he's mild. He's in between.
Yeah.
This one just he happy.
Hmm.
This one he talking about love. When I listen to them type of categories, I'd be like, I would drive myself crazy just trying to touch on a poem called Love.
Hmm.
You know, I'm like, dang, love is a big word.
Yeah.
So
That could have been you could have just started with love is a big word and then described that.
yeah, you'll be. I mean, shoot, it's I don't even know how to put it. It's
Hmm.
like I try to touch on. Um, I did a poem called "Dear God,"
Hmm.
and that was a challenge.
Hmm.
It's like, man, I'm doing a prayer poem.
Yeah.
It's not a poem.
Hmm.
It's like, what would I say to God?
Hmm.
I did, I touched on that, and then I touched on another subject that was difficult. No, the ghetto child.
Hmm.
Both of them parts was difficult
Why was it difficult?
because because number one, I'm speaking as a third party. I'm
Hmm.
not just because a few of them lines it's based on what I experienced, but then most of it it's like putting yourself in a ghetto child shoes.
Yeah.
A young ghetto child really don't have a father. His
Hmm.
mom's is out here trying to make ends meet.
Hmm.
He ain't got too much of anybody he can run to. So you got the streets. He goes out. He sees the streets for what it is. All the killing, all the hustling. He tries to emulate what he sees growing up, and he goes through all the what they how can I say it? He goes through the different stages
Hmm.
on what a ghetto child goes through growing up.
Yeah.
He's having a baby. He's getting locked up. He's fighting. He's gang banging and
Hmm.
all this other stuff. So you try to like you take all of that in and you think like, okay, what does a ghetto child go through? It's a
Hmm.
whole lot a ghetto child go through. So that's why I made the second part.
Yeah.
It's like he talking about the first part is like an introduction
Hmm.
of okay, I'm doing this. This is what's going on. I'm walking you through.
Hmm.
Second part is okay, I walked you through. So now I'm just gonna open up and say, I don't know if you read it.
Yeah. I haven't read part two yet.
Part two is saying it's a trap. Believe me, it's a trap. Why they ain't tell me red, blue, purple, and all them other colors don't matter when you black?
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
was that was just the open right there. Yeah, I walked you through. Now this is what's going on.
Because part one, it seemed like it was a shift you was talking about your childhood, then it was like it switched, and now I guess you on trial for something.
That's why I mean, it's like the warning sign when you watch a movie. Listen, I ain't going through half of what's going on. I may be going through bits and
Yeah.
pieces, but I ain't got no child. I ain't been locked up. I'm
Uh,
not on trial for that.
yeah, it's uh, an untold story that unfolds because growing up in the stricken homes, it's like spending 18 years walking a dark road. Murder was the case that they gave me. I was like, dang, what I missed? Cause like, I was like, you just talking about growing up, and then next thing I know, murder was the case and stuff, and then
Everybody, mind you, I didn't send it to. I sent it to handpicked people because
yeah,
I knew how that was going to turn out.
yeah, I
I
was like,
said to my, I said to myself, I said, if I make this, you want to know how I made it?
mm,
I made it when Straight Outta Compton came. No, not that, not the second part, the first part.
uh,
When Straight Outta Compton came up, I was listening to the Chronic album,
yeah,
and I was listening to one of the songs with Snoop and Drake,
mm,
and that's how I came with that idea.
mm,
But yeah, that line, that the murder was the case line, I took that and I put that with that. I was like, okay, if I put this out,
yeah,
I already know the people who ain't gonna take it,
mm,
they gonna look at you sideways. It's like, oh, forget it. I'm gonna send it to handpicked people.
yeah,
And then even then, them people who they understood it, but then they was like, what is this about?
yeah,
I said, Professor Hassel.
mm,
Well, why made you make this? I said, I'm speaking as a third party. Once I said that, he was like, oh, okay, you good. Because you had me in the dark for a second. I'm like, you about that? You have a baby? I'm like, no, I don't.
yeah, and then I was like, when it was like I did the crime, now I gotta do the time. I was thinking like, I was like, when did he do time? Like, so I really thought it was like an autobiography when I was reading it.
Oh
Like
man,
you was
nah.
telling your story.
That's how I be trying. That's how I was trying to do it. I was just trying to do something new.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. You may not go through it per se,
Mm-hmm.
but when I talk about something, that's like when it's something deep like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I When I talk about that, that's really what goes on in Detroit
Mm-hmm.
or anywhere in particular. So I'll be like, well, I'm not going through it per se,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel how where everybody coming from with different situations. So let me touch on it, and because that's how I be feeling. Like if I was this person, this is how I would speak on it.
Yeah, yeah. So, how did you come up with the name Jay Prince?
Jay Prince. One day I forgot what name I had before Jay Prince, but the name that I had before Jay Prince, it was a transition.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was 20 when I gave myself that name.
Yeah.
And me and the fellas one day, they was just getting to know.
Mm-hmm.
Now we all the half of them I knew from high school, but we didn't know each other for like face to face.
Yeah.
So we all got together, and the way they described me, it was like, man, this dude laid back, smooth, smooth, man. What's wrong with you? So I'm thinking about Jay Prince, the rap a lot dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm looking at how he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at the difference between me and him. I was like, okay, he's Jay Prince because of this reason.
Mm-hmm.
The way I am, it fits me because I'm laid back.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the word Jay Prince. I'm like, he's laid back. He's unique. He's he he doesn't say much.
Mm-hmm.
he does his own thing. So I thought to myself, like, I'm about to call myself Jay Prince.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back the next day to my man's house, and he asked, he came, he named everybody in the group,
Mm-hmm.
and he came to me. He's like, "What's your name?" Because he was about to call me the other name.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Man, I'm Jay Prince."
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Jay Prince. Drop the I and put the one.
Oh, okay. That's how you spell it.
Yeah. He was like, what's up? All
Mm.
right. Yeah, you look like a Jay Prince.
Yeah.
I said, man, I'm Jay Prince.
Oh, okay. So, do you see any do you got any plans for this poetry? Like, do you plan on publishing your work like in a collection or anything like that?
A lot of people ask me, well, they told me I should do a book.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it, but you, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe I will be doing the book soon, but I feel like I gotta have enough more material.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I want to make sure like my material is good for a book.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want to put no half, no, like you want all your pages to be 100,
Uh-huh.
not no 50% or any of that.
Yeah.
So like it's just any other way of how I'd handle any other situation. I do want to do stuff the right way.
Yeah. Okay. Before we close out, like say like somebody want to look at some of your work, is it any available?
Yeah, some available. Um, what I do is, I type out my work, I save it, and whoever I see, if I do have some copies, I give it to that person.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody would like to read some of my work, you can hit me up at J Thompson at abcnash.edu. Um, Facebook is J Prince the Future. I mean, I'd be more than happy to send any material that you would like to read. If you would like for me to write you a material, I can.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to give me a buzz.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, I like to try to end this with like some words of encouragement to somebody. Uh, do you got any words of encouragement for somebody who might feel like they need a way to express themselves too?
As far as in general,
It could be in general, any words of encouragement you got to help somebody who might be listening.
okay. I will say this: keep moving. Um, it's this poem I made called "Keep On Walking." And basically it's describing, why are you why are you doubting yourself? Why are you beating yourself up when really you're living, you're breathing, you're
Hmm.
walking? At the end of the day, you got to keep moving. You can sit here and worry all you want to, but you ain't gonna do nothing but stop yourself. You ain't gonna do nothing but mess up your plans in the future.
Hmm.
And each day is different. Like each day, you can learn something different. Every day is a better day. I
Yeah.
believe that. So like no matter what you go through, I would say don't let your situations change you.
Hmm.
When things that I will go through in the past, and um, I try not to let it shift me to another direction. I try to be the same person.
Yeah.
And my pastor, Wilbur Johnson, what rest in peace. She had told me, You gotta like you gotta pray until something happens.
Yeah.
And even whether you pray or not, you just have to do something. You got to be strong. You got to have the focus. You
Uh-huh.
can't never lose focus. You can't never do none of that. Because if you want to succeed in life, it all comes with focus,
Hmm.
and it all comes with consistency. So that's what I would encourage everybody, and more so the young youth.
Hmm.
'Cause that's who mostly need that knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, my brother, for coming on this podcast.
Hey man, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I'm honored, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I heard your past interviews.
Yeah.
They were real good. So I figured I'm gonna share with you a story where I asked Mr. Demetrius
Yeah.
because I heard his material and I asked him just playing around with him. You
Mm-hmm.
don't know that I was playing with him. I asked him like, "Yo, what's up? When you gonna do an interview?" His response, he was like, "When you want to do it?" Now I'm thinking you play it. It's like, yeah, when you want to do it? I said, we can do it whenever. Because
Yeah.
by this whole time, I don't have a concept of what we going to talk about. I'm just messing around with you. Like, what you want to talk about? Like, we can talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about poetry? I said, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
So I thinking the whole time, I was like, well, what could he ask me?
Yeah.
What could he ask me? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to send you some material. Because
Uh-huh.
I know you don't have none of my material. I'm gonna send it to you, and it ain't just because for the interview. It's your personal collection.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And from that point on, like as the day got close, I just thought to myself, man, this is my first interview.
Yeah.
Oh man, man, for real. Please post this everywhere. Because
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself for even stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And, I appreciate you for giving me this platform to, express my feelings and, you know, explain the life of a poet.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe you could come on again one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Next time I'm gonna perform, man.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what's up. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of Culture and Cigars. Once again, I'm your host, Demetrius Holland. Subscribe and follow me on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play, as well as other platforms. Thank everybody for tuning in. We doing it for the culture.